Hey guys, what's happening? D-Man Pit Stop Motorsport 2019. It's a new year, new things, great things happening today. I'm partnering up with my buddy Kareem from Digital Alchemy FX, and we're gonna come out with Pimpin Da Pavement TV. Ready every hump day of the week. I should say, you know what? The first hump day of the month. Stay tuned because we're going to put out a new tutorial. Basically, it is a tutorial. We're going to start off real basic and then we're going to progress thereon. I got my buddy right here, Dario, my ace mechanic. There he is. He's going to show you how to do a basic adjustment on a chain. This is something that's necessary for everybody. And you should do this after every oil change or if you felt the need for it. Okay, you should always pay attention to your chain. It should have anywhere from an inch play, which is usual and customary to do. I like to go a little more. The reason being, I like to go 1.5 inches because I'm a little bit aggressive on the bike. If you're an aggressive rider, you don't want your suspension to bind when you hit a bump. You want the suspension still work with you. But the good street rider, 1 inch play is good enough. This is actually pretty good. But we're gonna still go through the process so you see what's going on. What Dario's gonna do right now, he's gonna loosen up the axle nut. Now, when he loosens up the axle nut, it'll allow the axle to go back and forth with the adjustment screw on the axle. I'll show you that in a second. Loosen that up for a second, Dario. Okay, he's got enough there to loosen it up. Now, what's gonna happen is, okay, you get an adjustable screw here with a lock nut as well. And aside from that, I'm gonna put a little light to this thing here, right here on the end of the axle. Sometimes they're up top here. You got to pay attention. And then there's a line sometimes in some of them where you can line up the slots. You know, you count how many slots are there, and then you adjust your chain. If you look over here, you can count the cross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 slots there. Now, what you want to do is match each side. Each side should be the same, and it'll identify with this being right where it's supposed to be in the center of the swing arm. If you don't have these, sometimes these things get powder coated. If they get powder coated, they get filled, and you can't find a way to adjust your chain. You can take this caliper, you got to zero it out. Let me zero this thing out. Now, what you do is you measure both ends from the swing arm to the spacer. Okay, you can lock that. Once you get that in there, you can lock it, and then check the other side. Make sure you have the equal amount of spacing. Once that's done, then you know you got a chain that's basically squared off to the bike. Okay, this here is actually fine. It's not that bad. Okay, so what you would do is Dario will go over. Okay, loosen that up. He will loosen up. Okay, that's the retainer nut to not allow this adjustment screw to move. So what he does, he'll back it up to push it out, or he'll sink it to bring the chain in. There's times when your chain is going to be too tight and you need to loosen it up. A lot of guys go to places and they say, oh, I know how to do a chain, blah, blah. They go in there and it's tight as hell. Not good. Not good for your transmission, not good for your suspension. It binds your suspension. When you're riding, the bike will skip out on you if you're turning, if you hit a series of bumps, so it's not a good deal. Okay, so you want to just double check the measurements and stuff like that. Make sure that's square before we lock it down. You count your numbers.
That's too tight right there.
This is too tight, you see? So now he's going to come back, go a little bit more because I like to leave it a little bit loose because that's going to be good. Now count your numbers across. You still have the same 7. It's the same as the other side like we did before. Yeah. You want to make sure you equate both sides. Once you do that, then you lock down the axle nut. There's how can lock down the other axle nut over there. Okay, you're gonna see this. You want to once he makes his adjustment. What he's doing right now, he's gonna snug in, not tighten, snug in the lock nut. That's it. See, he's a little how you did a little touch. Don't kill it, because if you do that, what you do, you're gonna pinch that into there. And the next time you come out, that might fuse itself in there, and you'll break that bolt. Not a good thing. So just snug it, nice and easy, not too tight. Okay. Now that he has it done, he's gonna tighten up. He'll tighten up his oh, here you go. This is your job. I'm trying to take his job, and it's not cool. But anyway, Darren's gonna snug that in. Once he snugs it in, he's gonna double check the chain. The reason why you want to double check the chain, because as you tighten up that nut, the axle tends to flex, and when it flexes, it tightens up the chain itself. You know, this is actually pretty good. This is good for a street rider, 1 inch play. Again, if you're an aggressive rider, go 1.5 inch. Again, until next time. Then what you do also, while it's up on the stand, you could take some, matter of fact, get some lubrication. You can lubricate it. You have it on the stand. You have the wheel to play. Try to get yourself a nice little stand. Do this on the floor. It's not a problem. And then what we do is like to place it right around this area. We place the spray, and then we spin it and we spray it. All right. We're spraying. The reason why we're spraying in the center is because you got O-rings in there. Now, once you see it coated, you should be fine. All right, guys, that was our first little tutorial of adjusting the chain. Again, we're gonna progress. Remember, every first hump day of the month, Wednesday, baby. You know what that is. All right. So if you like what you saw, we'd appreciate some comments. And if you like what you saw, we appreciate you share. All right. And subscribe. Subscribe is key. You know what I mean? So again, I'm here with Dario, D-Man, Pimpin Da Motorsport, and you can't leave my boy Kareem because he's a badass at what he does. So if you like us, remember, comment, share, and subscribe. We love you. Thank you.